In the midst of this coronavirus pandemic, all Illinoisans have been forced to carry out a very difficult task of fighting against an enemy that you can't see until you or your loved ones fall sick. Slowing it down has required us to stay home and to stay apart for 2 months already. And the virus has brought with it an enormous financial toll on workers and families. Somehow you have found the strength to do what's been required to fight the fight. And you have done these things with exceptional grace and compassion for your fellow Illinoisans. You are slowing the spread. You're bending the curve, keeping our hospital capacity from being overwhelmed. All around the state, in our streets and our grocery stores, you see people wearing face coverings, knowing they are protecting each other, doing the right thing for their communities and their loved ones. And because of your perseverance, we have reduced our rate of spread tremendously in every region of the state since even just the beginning of May. We have seen our positivity rate drop. Our current 7-day average is 10.3%. The need for hospital beds and ICU beds and ventilators has decreased. We are building up our ability to test and contact trace, which allows us to slow and eventually stop new outbreaks before they start. When I introduced our reopening framework, I said that we can and we will make our Restore Illinois plan smarter as we move forward. That is as true today as it was a few weeks ago. We are by no means out of the woods. The virus is still causing sickness and taking lives, but directionally things are getting better. And because of these advances, we are able to make some modifications to allow more activity during phase 3 of our reopening plan, Restore Illinois, which all regions of Illinois appear to be on track to reach by the end of May. Every day from the beginning of this pandemic, my team and I have been in close consultation with public health experts, both inside and outside government, to discuss when and how we can return different elements of everyday life for Illinoisans. Our mission has always been to get people back to work, get students back to school, and return to as much normalcy as possible without jeopardizing the health and safety of Illinoisans. To do so, we've listened and learned and tracked the science and the data every day to ensure that we're taking the best possible approach. Based on that work, the experts have indicated that we can build onto our plan to bring back more activities faster, as long as Illinoisans continue to do as we have been doing, adhering to precautions and safety measures to keep each other safe. I want to begin by talking about bars and restaurants, many of which are the beloved institutions that make the cities and towns of Illinois so special. The local diner, the corner bar with friendly servers and bartenders and owners known to the whole community. Tragically, they were some of the first and hardest hit by this pandemic. To date, my administration has delivered tens of millions of dollars of assistance to small businesses, including to bars and restaurants. The industry employs hundreds of thousands of people in every corner of our state, and financial assistance isn't enough. So it's been important to me to reopen them, but only if it can be done in a way that keeps its employees and customers safe. Given what is known about how this virus spreads in closed spaces, our public health experts made the decision early on that bars and restaurants should not open their regular indoor food service, and that's still the case until we reach phase 4. That has turned out to be a good public health decision, but we have to put public health first. And that means the safety and peace of mind of consumers and employees alike. But the epidemiologists now believe that summer offers us an opportunity if proper precautions are taken by businesses and their patrons. So after listening to and working with restaurant industry representatives together with our epidemiologists, today I'm announcing an additional option for bars and restaurants interested in resuming operations earlier. Opening for outdoor seating when phase 3 begins, likely for everyone just 9 days from now. With the right restrictions, tables 6 feet apart and away from the sidewalks, masks and distancing measures for staff, and other precautions, the experts believe that these services can open at a risk comparable to other outdoor activities and give our hospitality industry a much-needed boost as they work to keep their businesses on their feet during this terrible crisis. On that note, I want to encourage municipalities and mayors who are interested in helping restaurants expand their outdoor seating options to do whatever is in their power and best fits their communities to help these restaurants. We've seen an incredible outpouring of creativity from every corner of the state throughout this crisis, and I have no doubt that Illinoisans will continue that spirit as we pave our way forward. Looking ahead, I also want to elaborate on next steps for outdoor activities. As laid out in Restore Illinois, Phase 3 permits all gatherings, not just essential ones, of 10 people or fewer. That means if you want to go enjoy a picnic in the park or a walk with 9 other people, you can. Just remember to wear a mask or face covering when social distancing can't be maintained. With this new 10-person gathering limit, our restriction around outdoor activities in Phase 3 will see some changes. That means boating or camping with up to 10 people is welcome in boats that are an appropriate size to hold that number. Illinois is also allowing the reopening of indoor and outdoor tennis facilities with IDPH safety precautions and capacity limits. As for golfers, in Phase 3, courses can allow foursomes out on the same tee times. Carts will also be permitted with only 1 person per cart or 1 immediate household per cart. With significant work to determine staffing and safety measures, all state parks will reopen on May 29th. All concessions will reopen as well under guidelines set for our retail and food service businesses in Phase 3. I know how important our state parks are to communities across our state, and the staff and leadership of our Department of Natural Resources are looking forward to welcoming Illinoisans back. Additionally, in the coming days, we will be providing guidance on how other outdoor recreational businesses, such as driving ranges, outdoor shooting ranges, and paintball courses, can safely open their doors in Phase 3. And on the topic of the days ahead, I want to remind everyone of the other businesses and activities already laid out for Phase 3. In Phase 3, personal care services like nail salons, beauty salons, spas, tattoo shops, hair braiders, and barber shops can open with IDPH safety precautions and capacity limits. For health clubs, gyms, and fitness studios, one-on-one personal training in indoor facilities and outdoor fitness classes of up to 10 people are allowed with precautions adhered to. And all retail stores, basically any store that wasn't already open as an essential business, can choose to open their doors to an in-person shopping with IDPH safety precautions and capacity limits in place. Of course, there's a whole lot of life outside these arenas, and I know people will have questions on the specifics of these announcements, as well as on topics outside of what I've outlined today. In the coming days, we'll be releasing formal industry-specific guidance developed in consultation with business owners and employees, particularly around workplaces and childcare. IDPH and my office have also received many proposals from churches and religious organizations on how they could operate safely in larger gatherings, including outdoor and drive-in settings, and we are working with them to help offer additional flexibility. Finally, I want to be clear that local governments have every right to establish stricter guidance to local businesses or for local recreation in any of these areas if they believe it would be in the best interests of the people that they represent. I want to offer just a note of concern that I hope everyone will take to heart. The virus has not gone away. Other states that have thrown out restrictions and decided to just go without regulation are seeing rising cases and beginning to see rising hospitalizations. Here in Illinois, we have followed the science and we're succeeding, but we can't let up now. We've come too far and we've made so much progress because we've kept social distance, worn face coverings in public, washed our hands frequently, and taken care of our most vulnerable to the best of our ability. We must persevere. Illinois, this road is a long one, and I know that it's hard to see the hate on display by recent protesters who ignore that we've lost thousands of Illinoisans to this virus. Thousands more are fighting for their lives in our hospitals, and our medical professions and our medical professionals are heroically working round the clock to save lives. Perspective is often difficult to find from up close, but the way the vast majority of the people of the state have come together in this moment is truly incredible. I have never been more proud of Illinois.